Hi, welcome to Growth Marketing Chat. Today I am here with Alex Kutsachin. He is the co-founder and CEO of Sales Boomerang. He's also really creative, and I'm super excited to have him with us today. Alex, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Caroline.
So last time we talked, because spoiler alert, I talked to all of my guests before we get on these recordings videos. But last time we talked, you told me about kind of your approach to go to market and um, how you are approaching go to market as like trying to dominate a space versus trying to compete. And I thought it was super interesting. So can you tell us more about that?
Well, first of all, thank you again for having me on. And yeah, it's when you think about going to market, if you think about having to compete with the leader, you're going to have a really tough time, right? Because if you're competing
Mm-hmm.
with the leader, you have to talk about the leader, right? In your marketing, in your sales, in your presentations, and
Mm-hmm.
so you're really giving a lot of head nods to the person in the lead, and I don't think that's a good approach. So when I talk about domination, I talk about discovering something in an
Mm-hmm.
industry that if there are leaders, but there's space for maybe there's just an inch to squeeze in, but you squeeze in and you present yourself in a manner that is so unique. People
Mm-hmm.
may and will understand what you're saying, but they have to see that there's something so different here that there isn't anything like it in the market. And it shouldn't be a lie, by the way. You should not go in there and lie and say you have something that you don't have, right? So you have to, when you go to market,
Mm-hmm.
you have to have something that actually works and you can stand behind and that you could be the best in the world at, right? So if you can be the best in the world at something, you're not competing with anyone. You can start to carve out your own sort of not just niche, but your own category, right?
Right.
And so for me, when I think about going to market and I think about domination, I think about what is it that I can say or I can do for my audience that only my audience will hear it. Let me explain to you what I mean by this. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Back when I owned a marketing agency in 2000, from 2005 to, it's actually my business partner still runs it. Um, when I was running that company with my business partner, I had come up with a concept because we're doing so many great things for our clients in marketing, that to explain to my clients what we were doing, I had to come up with this analogy. And the analogy is, what is the greatest marketing tool ever invented? What is the greatest marketing product ever invented, ever?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what defines great marketing? A great marketing is being able to target your audience and your audience responding, right? That's great marketing. You targeted them and they responded. Well, there's one product out there that's better than all, and that is the dog whistle. Okay. A dog whistle
Mm-hmm.
knows its audience. And the best part is its audience knows it. Talk about domination. That is domination.
Right.
Right? There's all
Right.
kinds of different whistles out there, right? Anyone can whistle. There's this kind of whistle. You can whistle with your fingers. You can whistle just with your mouth. All millions of kinds of whistles. There's a train whistle, you name it. But with this whistle alone targets its audience, and its audience, no matter what it's doing, it could be digging in the trash. It hears the whistle go, huh? It looks up, right? It knows its audience and its audience knows it. That to me is domination. And so
Mm-hmm.
when we go to market, when I think about going to market, I think about how can I blow my dog whistle that only my audience hears it. I don't want everybody to hear it. Especially, I don't
Right.
want my competitors to hear it. Especially, I don't want my competitors. Not yet. I'm not ready for them to hear it yet. Right now, it depends if you're doing a consumer-focused product or a B2B product. It all depends. But when you're going to market, especially in the beginning, when you're blowing that whistle, you only want your audience to hear it. Okay. And then
Mm-hmm.
as you are blowing that whistle and your audience is hearing it and you're starting to bring them in, you're starting to clearly carve out the reason why there's nothing like you. Okay. Like,
Right.
if there's anything else you want, don't talk to me anymore. Like, if there's something I'm mentioning and you go, well, what about, look, then this isn't for you. Then you know what, you're just not the right dog to eat this dog food that I'm selling, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
in the beginning, going to market and becoming a dominant player means saying no to a lot of people and only saying yes to those people that clearly go, this is unique, fantastic.
Right.
Because guess what? That customer is going to attract the similar customer, is going to attract the similar customer, is going to attract the similar customer. And once you've built enough gravity around your business and you're completely dominant, meaning you're saying things so point blank, like if you have a solution, be matter of fact. Not we think this will do this for you. Not we want this to happen for you. Not we hope you're going to get this result, but point blank, this is
Hmm.
if you don't do this, this is what you're going to miss out on. If you do
Right.
this, this is what you're going to get. And that is all part about creating a dominant position and not marketing against anyone. People would ask me about what about this company? I'm like, I have no clue. I honestly do. If they've been around, why aren't you working with them? Oh, I
Right.
don't know. Well, then let's talk about how we're going to work together, right? And so, domin, dominating and not competing, because when you're competing, a lot of people want to market, be great marketers. Marketers means you are competing, right?
Hmm.
You're marketing against something else. Well, could be. That's part of a definition of it, right? Uh,
Right.
when when you're thinking about dominating a space, you're not thinking about competing and marketing against another person's marketing campaign. You're thinking, how do I get as many of these people that hear my message to buy my solution now? Because the most important in go to market is feedback.
Right.
Bottom line, you can't build a
Hmm.
business in a vacuum. You can't build a business in a room. Some people try and they fail. There's a great
Yeah.
read. Or is it Reed? Shoot, is it Hoffman? I think I forget which Reed it is. Um, he always says you have to be embarrassed by your first version 1.0. Your go to market
Hmm.
version 1.0 you have to be embarrassed about. And he is so right. The reason you go to market and are embarrassed about your first rollout is because your clients haven't touched it yet. They
Yeah.
haven't touched it.
It's not ready. But you
It's not
should
ready.
go when you cannot get it ready
Correct.
without the feedback, right?
Correct. And free feedback also doesn't work. If you give some unless you have a freemium model, like your go to market is
Hmm.
freemium, try this for 30 days, then start paying, or try this for 60, then fine, free is fine. But if you are going to have a product, a solution, a service that you will charge for every time, there's no such thing as a free meal with you, then do not do a free beta either. Do not let people try your solution for free. Even if you have to charge them $10. Even if you
Yeah.
charge them $10, charge them something because people tell the truth when they have to pay. Even if it's 10, even if it's a dollar, when you're charging someone, like, you know what, you took my money, I'm gonna tell you the truth. And that is
Right.
another part of domination too, is a lot of people are like, I just want to try and see what people say. No, you want to dominate, make people pay from day one, right? Make people
Right.
pay from day one. So that's my go to market domination kind of strategy. And domination, you have to also choose. So for instance, let's pick you know, and I'll choose a larger than life example, right? Let's just choose Airbnb for just a second, right?
Hmm.
They were entering a market that had every corner covered. Every
Yeah.
single thing you can think of to go and find a place to stay and sleep was covered.
Hmm.
How could they even break into this market? But they figured it out, and they didn't come to compete. They created a message that people were like, either it resonated, you heard the whistle, or it didn't.
Right.
And if you heard the whistle, there was no other solution for you. Because guess what? You had all those other solutions in the market already. Why are you answering
Hmm.
my call? If you could do anything else, you have hotels, you have all these other things you could do. If you could do all these, why are you going to my website? Like, why are you even interested in this? Because I blew my whistle and you heard it. And I'm only blowing my whistle to you. That's a great example of domination. They came out and dominated. And that's important. It's important because when people market and have people call and saying, I'm interested, they try to sell them. In the beginning, you don't want to sell people, right? You want them to, why did you choose to come here? Oh, because this sounded interesting. Why did it sound interesting? Because I've never heard anything like this. What specifically did you hear that you never heard before? This, and that. Fantastic. When are we moving forward? Right? Like they've
Yeah.
sold themselves. You don't have to sell them. And so that's all part of the dominating strategy.
Right. Right. So there's something about being really unique, really targeted, right? A lot of people try to be everything to everyone, and
Mm.
you can't do this, especially at the beginning, because you can't refine what you're doing if you do that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, well, it depends. There's some that came out together, but any really top performer in their industry has focused on domination and not competition. Now you have
Hmm.
some areas like Microsoft and Apple. Okay, they're both They're both extremely successful. They figured out their audiences each. They both focus on a few different things, even though they overlap. You can call them both dominating in their space.
Hmm.
But in many other arenas, in many other categories, there is the dominant player, and then there's everyone else.
Right.
And so that's why I think domination is sort of the best marketing strategy. Is you can stop, you can, for a long time in Sales Boomerang, I just kept the blinders on. Like, I don't care what's happening out here. I don't care what this guy's doing, what that company's promoting, what
Right.
I don't care. I don't when people, it's literally, so I could be honest, when people say, "Have you heard of this?" I could be like, "No, I haven't." Right? I haven't heard of it. What about nope, I haven't heard of them. So it's like when you can keep your blinders on and just focus on your one audience and just win there, man, then sort of the world starts to open up for you. But
Right.
you gotta dominate with your audience.
Right. Well, Alex, thank you so much. Really amazing story and insight here. I really appreciate you coming here and sharing these with us.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks, Alex.